So a few years ago at work, I was sitting there at a table with some of my teacher coworkers, and one guy was kind of putting me down in a way, and he was saying, "Hey, you're like one of those guys that goes to Disneyland all the time." And I don't have a season's pass or an annual pass or anything like that, but my wife and I do like to take our boys to Disneyland and other places, and I want to tell you why. So, welcome everyone to the Dr. Blue Duck podcast. And making money is great, yes, we know that, but soon it's all going to be gone. But memories, hey, memories can last forever. So, instead of taking your kids always just to get the newest gadget or the newest toy, maybe try taking them on adventures. I was reading Matthew 6 today. That's part of the Sermon on the Mount. And Jesus says in it, no one can serve two masters, for he'll either hate one and love the other, or he'll be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. And I thought that was very interesting. If you really think about it, it's also difficult to serve your family and money. So we don't live too far from Disneyland. So when we get a little bit of extra money or I sell a painting, it's always fun to take the boys to Disneyland. Right now, they're 2 and 5. So I know it's just a short amount of time that Disneyland is going to be truly magical. And it's even a shorter amount of time that their parents are going to be their most favorite people on this planet. So I'm going to take advantage of this short time and make wonderful memories with my boys venturing from one ride to the other, from one attraction to the next, while taking short breaks to eat and then looking for that perfect little affordable souvenir at the end of the night as we walk off through downtown Disney, leaving behind those ethereal park lights. Kids grow up fast. I mean, they grow up way too fast, and it's only a few short years when they're actually little. So I'm going to make as many memories as I possibly can with my boys and spend as much time with them as I possibly can. Also, I'm at the age where people suddenly just pass away. I mean, when you're in your 20s, it's kind of rare to have a friend who's died, but in your late 30s, early 40s, it sadly becomes way more common. There's no guarantee that I'll actually be here tomorrow or the next day or the next year. So I want to do things with my kids. I want to live every single moment of life, and I want to live it abundantly. And I care more about that than I do what any person thinks. Obviously, Disneyland is not the only adventure to take your kids on. There are other exciting and special places to bring your kids to. And even if you're in a place in life where you just have zero extra spending money, you can still make everyday activities adventurous, exciting, comical, and even very meaningful. Because it's not always what you do with your kids, but how you make them feel. You can walk to the mailbox and check the mail and make it kind of like this fun-filled activity with laughter while you give your kids your full undivided attention, coupled with light-hearted play. Or you can make the same activity some dreaded chore experienced in pure misery. I mean, it's really your choice. Let's take the DMV, for example. I mean, who does not dread going to the DMV? But say you take your son and before you go to the DMV, you go by the dollar store and you let him pick out a little toy car. You just make it a real special thing. I mean, that's like under $2. And then you go to the DMV and before you get out, you let him sit in your driver's seat and you take a cool little photo of him. Maybe add some AI to it, do something fun like that. You know, that doesn't really cost anything. And then when you're at the DMV, maybe you're looking on your phone with him, looking up like the world's most ridiculous looking cars or the world's most funny cars. And then you can talk to him about, hey, how someday he's going to drive and what type of car he wants to drive someday. And you can just make it all about him. And this dreaded trip to the DMV could be a real fun memory that your kid will remember for a lifetime. And shoot, on the way home, just stop and grab one little scoop of ice cream. But yes, this is challenging at moments because we are tired. We get down. We struggle with being sad and depressed. Life is very, very hard sometimes. I would say it's hard often. But I try to remind myself that my time with my children is so short. I'm not promised tomorrow at all. And friends, neither are you. What if the last thing you did with your kid was really your last? I think about that sometimes, and yeah, it's a lot of pressure. But my fellow believers out there know that life is too hard to go alone. It's too hard to do it by yourself. God is there with us. How do I know this? Well, in Matthew, the last thing that Jesus says before he ascends is this: Behold, I am with you always to the end of the age. And if you have accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior, guess what, guys? You are not alone. He is there with you. So do this. Pray. Pray for energy. Pray for clarity of mind, physical strength to be the dad that God has called you to be. I mean, I have to do this every single day. Friends, we have so many greats out there. We have great esport pros. We have great streamers. We have great content creators, great athletes, great entrepreneurs, great musicians, great actors. But what we don't have is enough great dads. So take the trips. Go on adventures, big or small, out of town or in your own backyard. Make memories, memories that will always let them know that they are loved. And yes, when you can, even take them to Disneyland. And if you want to be something great, something truly great in this world, be a great dad, a great husband, a faithful worshiper of our great God. And as always, be kind, use your mind, and game on.